All right, welcome back, Comic Crusaders. Grab your capes and coffee. Today's episode is stacked with cosmic crossovers, symbiote showdowns, and industry shakeups. From Marvel's biggest symbiote war yet to DC's mature readers' revival, we're diving deep into the stories shaping your pull list. You don't want to miss a single panel. Before we leap into the news, a huge shout out to Ron's Comic Closet, the show's official channel sponsor. Whether you're hunting for new releases, variants, or back issues, Ron's got you covered with 20% off your first purchase. If you use code I have issues at checkout, level up your collection and support the channel at the same time. Today's first story, Marvel is kicking off 2026 with Death Spiral, an epic crossover that pulls together Amazing Spider-Man, Venom, and Eddie Brock's Carnage. The 9-issue saga launches with Amazing Spider-Man, Venom, Death Spiral #1, before weaving through ASM 23 issues 23 through 27 and Venom issues number 25 255 through 257. Writers Joe Kelly, Al Ewing, and Charlie Soule, along with artists Ed McGuinness, Carlos Gomez, and Jesus Saz, unite Spidey, Venom, Carnage, and Mary Jane, bonded with Venom, against a terrifying new villain known as Torment. How do you stop a serial killer who knows everyone Peter loves? If you thought the symbiote wars were over, think again. Editor Nick Lowe promises this is one of the wildest times in Spidey symbiote history. With Peter Parker, when Peter discovers Mary Jane's Venom, Bond, and Eddie Brock's wielding Carnage, Charles Soule teases that smashing this weird family unit together will create emotional energy fans have never seen. And of course, Torment's body count makes Cletus Cassidy look restrained. Tell us in the comments, which symbiote pairing are you most excited or terrified to see? And hit that like button if you're ready to read this deadly dance. Full story link in the description. And just when you were catching your breath from Death Spiral, Marvel announces Queen in Black, which is arriving in summer of 2026. Spinning out of Al Ewing and Carlos Gomez's Venom run, this event sees Thor's own Hela claiming the symbiote throne. The publisher teases the story at NYCC 2025, promising that Hela Ascent will plunge the Marvel Universe into cosmic horror. Why should you care? With Spider-Man, Venom, Carnage, and Knull all entangled in Death Spiral, Queen in Black raises the stakes even higher. Al Ewing's hinted that fans will witness a symbiote turn into a guitar during the chaos. This even picks up threads from the Venom 250 issue cliffhanger that promises an era-defining showdown where Asgard meets the symbiote hive. Ready for Hela's rule? Comment with your wildest predictions for a symbiote Asgard mashup. And don't forget to smash subscribe if you never missed our event coverage, so you never miss our event coverage breakdowns. And then we got for DC mature readers imprint, Vertigo is rising from the ashes with an ambitious slate. At NYCC 2025, executive editor Chris Conroy unveils 10 series launching in 2026. The revival begins February 4th with Nice House by the Sea, number 7, a continuation of James Tinian IV and Alvaro Martinez Bono acclaimed horror series. The lineup then introduces Bleeding Hearts, End of Life, The Peril of the Brutal Dark, 100 Bullets, The U.S. of Anger, Black Tower, The Raven Conspiracy, Necatrocious, Fanatic, The Crying Doll, and A Walking Shadow. It's a genre buffet, zombie love stories, hitman noir, occult espionage, dinosaur apocalypse, and parasocial horror, all under Vertigo's banner. DC emphasizes that the revived imprint will prioritize creator-owned, boundary-pushing storytelling reminiscent of its 1990s heyday. Early release dates confirm a staggered rollout, keeping momentum all year. Which Vertigo title are you dying to read first? Let us know. And if you're loving this deep dive news, hit that notification bell. And we got some more behind-the-scenes interviews coming up soon. And then hold on to your helicarriers. Godzilla is stomping back into Marvel Comics in a 5-issue event called Godzilla's Infinity Roar. Set to debut February 4th of 2026, the series teams the King of Monsters with symbiote deity Knull. Marvel's heroes hurl Godzilla into space to spare Earth, but he bumps into Knull, and the two decide to unleash cosmic havoc. Expect destruction from Kree skull space to the Nova cores and every cosmic power faces their wrath. Gary Dugan writes with art by Javier Gorin and Id Gora. The duo previously delivered Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. So they're primed for scale. Dugan teases that the idea on the table makes this the biggest, craziest, and most dangerous Godzilla crossover ever. Promising peril unlike anything the Marvel Universe has seen. Infinity Roar hits shelves February 4th of 2026. Who's winning in a team-up of chaos, Knull or Godzilla? Let us know in the comments. And then we got some set photos from Spider-Man Brand New Day. Fans have been buzzing with the return of Michael Mando as Mark Gargan, aka Scorpion. Slash Film spotted the actor on set sporting his familiar bald head, confirming that the Marvel Cinematic Universe will finally pay off the post-credit tease from Spider-Man Homecoming. Gargan's cameo in 2017 promised a Scorpion tattoo and hinted at his supervillain future. The article reminds readers that Mark Gargan's first appearance in comics in 1964 as a private investigator hired by J. Jonah Jameson. After undergoing an experimental procedure, he's transformed into the Armor Scorpion, becoming one of Spider-Man's oldest foes. And with the multiverse in flux after No Way Home, it's unclear if this is the same Gargan or a variant, but the July 31st, 2026 release date set the stage for this menacing comeback. Are you hyped to see Scorpion finally suit up? Let us know. And then we got a review for Batman, The Last Halloween, issue number 9. Christina Gonzalez review of Batman, The Last Halloween reveals 2 seismic twists. First, Selena Kyle is confirmed as the long-lost daughter of Carmine and Luisa Falcone. This revelation ties back to Catwoman, When in Rome, and raises questions about her allegiance to Gotham's crime families. Second, Gilda Dent is pregnant with Mario Falcone's child and is complicit in the attempt on Two-Face's life. Gonzalez praises Chris Sammee's art, calling his clean, Silver Edge-inspired line work and dynamic double-page spreads the MVP of the issue. While the series' pacing has been inconsistent, the reviewer notes that these reveals and Sammy's visuals give the penultimate chapter much-needed momentum. The score is a respectable 7.5 out of 10. Do these twists make you more invested in The Last Halloween? Drop a comment with your thoughts and let us know. And if you think Loeb can stick the landing in issue 10, while you're at it, hit that like button for a spoiler-safe review. And then over at NYCC, an Image comic panel, creators included Marjorie Liu, Jeff Lemire, and Dustin Nugent had frank discussion about AI's impact on comics. Liu, celebrating the 10th anniversary of Monstrous, warned that AI is being normalized in school and society. Dustin Nugent asked artists who use AI, how do you feel about yourself when you use it? And urged creators to remember the human element. Artist Caspar Winegard lamented that AI diminishes the role of illustrators, stating he sees his name credited less next to writers. Despite concerns, the panel celebrated human-made projects. Upcoming releases include the Power Fantasy 13 and 14 by Kieran Gillen and Caspar Winegard's Monsters Volume 10 by Kieran Gillen and Caspar Winegard. Monsters Volume 10 by Lou and Sana Taka. News from the Fallout 5 and 6 by Chris Cadone and Jeffrey Allen Lowe, and Crowdbound, a new series by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nagoon, is debuting in March of 2026. The creators emphasize that AI should never replace artists, but can serve as a tool under human control. What's your take on AI in comics? Innovation or intrusion? Join the debate in the comments and let us know. And then Dynamite has announced that ThunderCats is getting a one-shot called ThunderCats Lost in Time. It's written by Ed Brisson and artist Chris Campa. The special catapults the ThunderCats to Sixth Earth, a dystopian future stitched from the ruins of Third Earth. This world is governed by a brutal police state where ThunderCats are hunted nearly to extinction. To survive, Lino's team partners with the mysterious defector who may hold a key to saving their timeline. Brisson promises the issue will send shockwaves through the entire ThunderCats comic universe, revealing secrets about the characters' history. Chris Campa's art will set the stage for major events across 2026. Collectors take note. The comic will be sold as a blind bag with 4 cover variants by Declan Salva, Inda Balma, and Alsario Rinaldi, and Cat Staggs, including rare line art editions. Thundercat fans, are you ready for this dystopian leap? Let us know. And then Wolverine's darkest evolution is coming at Age of Revelations. Comicbook.com featured on the Age of Revelations explored Wolverine's most chilling transformation yet. In this dystopian future, the villain Revelations turned Logan into the Angel of Death, compelling him to slaughter iconic mutants like Magneto, Forge, Zorn, and Archangel. The article notes that Wolverine has long been vulnerable to mind control, from Apocalypse's Horsemen of Death to the Hand's brainwashing, but this version is smarter and deadlier. Maybe inspired slightly by Ultimate Wolverine. Who knows? Amazing X-Men #1 shows Logan resisting Revelation's control until power-boosting villains like Fabian Cortez amplifies the coercion. This hints that even in his darkest evolution, Wolverine's willpower isn't entirely broken. Fans are reminded that his struggle against manipulation is what makes him a compelling hero. Do you prefer mind-controlled Wolverine or his rebellious comebacks? Let us know. And our last story of the day is our usual CovrPrice Daily Shakers report. And closing today's story highlights today's top movers on the comic market, where collectors track real-time comic sales. In the Golden Age tier, we got Captain America, Volume 1, Issue #1 from 1940, fetched a staggering $11,212 in a raw, a testament to Cap's enduring appeal. Then we got a Malibu Sun, issue #13 from 1992, sold in a CGC 9.8 for $3,250, fueled by the early Spawn appearance. And then meanwhile, we got Jack Kirby's Daredevil #1 from 1966, sold in raw for $1,582, and reminding us that early Daredevil keys remain attainable. On the Bronze Age front, we got Weird Trip #2 from 1978, sold in a CGC 9.4 for $1,500, and Neil Adams' iconic Batman #251 from 1973 in a CGC 9.0 pulled in $1,250. And war titles also surged. Foxhole #5 from 1955 in a raw commanded $1,225. And then we got another Captain America book, Captain America Comics Volume 1 from issue #45 from 1945, fetched in $1,180 as a raw. And War is Hell #12 from 1975 in a CGC 9.8 went for $1,100. And rounding out that list, we got Incredible Hulk issue #180 from 1974, the first cameo of Wolverine in a CGC 8.0, sold for $1,050. And while Weird War Tales #30 from 1974 in a CGC 9.8 closed us out today at $850. Which of these shakers surprised you? Tell us your grail picks in the comments, and check out CovrPrice.com for live market data. And if you loved hearing about high value, share this segment to support our coverage of culture. And then this is October. It's Comic Cure and Cancer Month, C3. And this, at the end of the month, October 24th through the 26th, is the Comic Cure and Cancer auction. So I do have the promo video for that, and here we go. All right. Hello, Christina. Thank you for popping in. I also want to let everybody know about Comic Channel Origins. It's the show that I do every Sunday night where I speak to comic book YouTube content creators and talk to them about how they started their comic book YouTube channel, basically their comic origins or their Comic Channel origins. And last Sunday, I interviewed the organizers of C3, Rob's Fat Stacks, Legion of Comics, and DJ Links. So check out that issue. It's in the it's on my list of videos to check out. But this Sunday, I am interviewing What's on the Comic Rack, Mr. Akins, as most of y'all might know. And I'm going to be talking to him about his comic book channel origins. So please check him out. Come join us at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, and that is everything that I have for y'all today. Please check us out, bookmark, save us, subscribe, and click that bell so you can get notifications of our upcoming shop or stories. Support your local comic shop, stay kind, and keep your eyes on the panels. And we'll see you tomorrow for more Comic Issue Daily.